Yeah, hello. The Strange Fruit poem was written by Abel Mirapol, who's a white Jewish high school teacher, and he was also a member of the Communist Party. And it all began when he saw a picture, I think it was a postcard maybe,
Yeah.
of a lynching, where yeah he received the postcard I think. Where there was yeah by a lynching, and you think it was kind of horrifying. And
Also because people were eating lunch while
yeah,
they were
yeah,
watching it.
yeah, it was
They were
kind
on
of it was a
picnics.
cruel time where they went for a picnic and saw this lynching where bodies were hanging.
They actually sat under the
Yeah,
trees where
so
people
he
were
think it
lynched.
was kind of it was a sad moment, and he thought that there was illness upon this country, so therefore he wrote down his feelings by a poem. um, and it's kind of funny how when it was later put into music with Billie Holiday, how the white audience were enjoying this black music, but that had been worked through by a middleman, a Jewish writer. So it's kind of all these different cultures and ethnics um, incorporated in this song. Um, it was also kind of funny when Billie Holiday she sang this song at a cafe where the I think their motto was the right the wrong place for the right people. So that's kind of funny, and where they had this incorporated theme where there were only black music, white, and then a lot mainly white audience, and then where the Raiders were had some some old worn down clothes, some rags to give show the contrast and in similarities between these two people, the white and black, and the contrast between that. Um, yeah, and it's also kind of interesting how there had been a lot of other people trying to make some songs about this and even plays about this
Mm.
early on, but somehow that they hadn't stick with the audience. There hadn't been a breakthrough there. So it was a combination between of Billie Holiday's uh, interpretation of the poem and Abel Mirapol's original idea.
Yeah, but also because it is a good song.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. But it's somehow also that the hidden figurative language is kind of interesting there.
yeah, because that is also some of the things that makes this song a lot more powerful than the other songs,
Yeah,
because it is full of metaphors.
yeah,
Let me read out
yeah.
or read out loud the first verse, and well, it sounds like this: Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood on the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. And well, it is actually just one big metaphor for lynching. The trees are bearing a strange fruit is just another way of saying that black bodies are hanging, and there are blood on the leaves and blood on the roots. That is because they have been tortured before they were lynched. And well, it is just describing how horrible it was. But in order to really understand this text, we have to look at the time it was written in, and well, it was written just I guess it was 3 years before the Second World War started, and
Yeah,
it kind of put everything into perspective because the United States went to fight the Nazis because they discriminated minorities like Jews and black people, and it is just weird that the southern states did the same. So it is, well, a, a, it's a funny way to look at life that we are
yeah,
allowed to do it, but the
yeah.
Germans are not.
It's kind of some double standards that,
Yeah.
that they that
So
they're having these discriminations and segregations in their
yeah,
own country, and the same people in yeah, in Europe they were also fighting for the same thing.
yeah,
So
and it actually questions the reason for why the world started, because the world or the war, I mean,
yeah,
started because of politics and different culture and point of view, and yeah, it's just
yeah,
difficult to understand. We're also having a Danish provocateur designer, instructor called Paul Henningsen,
Yeah.
and he's Danish. And during the Second World War, he wrote a song called, let me see, De binder os på mund og på hånd.
Oh,
And it's a bit like the song Strange Fruit. It isn't about the same, but in the middle of the Second World War, where the Germans were censoring the news and many of the rights that the Danish people had before were removed, and like Strange Fruit didn't say anything directly. It is the same Paul Henningsen song, De binder os på mund og på hånd did. It didn't say anything directly, but anyone could understand what it was saying. And the sentence, De binder os på mund og på hånd, actually says everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's kind of interesting that our grandparents lived at that moment where there were people being, killed and for really stupid reasons, almost ridiculous reasons, and it's kind of interesting that people that we know and so close to us, in some way, have experienced this. I know that you have a grandmother. I think that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because my little brother, or baby brother, if you will, got confirmed this weekend, and then I went to talk to my father's aunt, and she told me that in the year of 1928 they immigrated to America because of, they had a cousin and their farm burned, so they kind of tried to start this new life, the American dream, and they did experience some of the same things, that Indians and Asians were discriminated in many ways. They weren't allowed to dance with the American kids, so when they were dancing in the school, they had to dance with my grandmom and and her sister. So, it is just absurd, I think.
Cool.
But that's about it.
I think so, but it's an interesting text, I think.
It is powerful.
Yeah.
Well, see you.